I manifested healthy partners long before I did healing work. So back when I had a lot of trauma and had very little actual awareness of how that trauma affected me, I had people show up in my life who were relatively healthy that wanted to be in a relationship with me. At the time, I did not choose them because of my own stuff going on. I said things like, they're just not my type. I didn't feel the attraction to them. I didn't feel the connection. I would have said, oh, we don't have any chemistry. That's what I was saying at the time. So like I said, I had a crap ton of trauma that I hadn't addressed. It was just buried there underneath my psyche, in the subconscious. Didn't want to look at it, had no desire to at that point. But healthy people were approaching me. And again, I wasn't choosing them. Like I had for a couple months at the end of high school, I actually had the sweetest, like kindest boyfriend possible that I possibly could have had at that point. I eventually like he tried. I feel bad for this guy because he had tried to go out with me earlier in the year, and I was like, no, I'm not interested. And then finally by the end of the year, I was like, all right. He's so sweet. He's so persistent. Not persistent in a bad kind of way, but like he just really likes me. Let me give this a try. And he was just emotionally available. He was kind. He was attentive. Would have done anything for me. And I eventually broke up with him because I went away to college and I wasn't feeling it. I hadn't done the healing work. I wasn't open to a really healthy, loving relationship. There were people that I had met in college that were more compelling to me. I know you guys know what I'm talking about. Like people who just, it feels like the attraction is like, whoa. The chemistry is intense. And back then, I thought that was what I was supposed to be feeling. I wanted to feel those big feelings for someone. So that's what I went with. So the reason I'm sharing this with you guys is that you don't actually have to be in this perfectly healed, perfectly aligned place to meet people who are healthy, who will be interested in you. That being said, we have to do the work to be open to them. And this is what I help my clients with. This is what my 12-week program is about. Getting us to the place where we can let that love in and feel attraction for healthy partners. But yet, it is a myth that we have to be completely and utterly spiritually aligned to be attractive to people who are healthy. Not the case at all, based on my personal story that I just shared here with you. So where I believe that this myth is coming from, and it's all over, you guys, like you can't go anywhere without people talking about manifesting and attraction, law of attraction. That has just blown up lately. What's happening here, and I can share this from my own personal experience, is along the path of awakening, this actually feels true. So when you're going on a spiritual awakening journey, what you're actually doing is you're breaking free of illusions. You're breaking free of conditioning. You're breaking out of that box of conditioning that you're living in order to be free and live a full and authentic life. So what you're doing is you're breaking free from illusions. And I don't know why this is, but at a certain point in the journey, you have the very real perceptual experience that, oh, I'm creating my world here. I'm manifesting things. For a time, I totally believed that this was true because it felt like that. And all the other spiritual teachers out there were, not all of them, but many of them were talking about this, that we attract we attract who we are, and law of attraction is real. And I was like, totally. Oh yeah, this feels real. Okay, this is what's happening. So I tried to make that work for a long time, doing all sorts of like permutations in my head and trying to meditate and get into the right energetic state. And I was like, Jesus, like why is this like not actually working? Like I could kind of like convince myself sometimes that it was working when certain things showed up, but ultimately it was not working for me. So what actually happened was then I went deeper into awakening. I went deeper into my healing process, and all of that law of attraction stuff, all of that manifesting stuff, it dissolved, meaning I broke free from that illusion and it didn't seem true anymore. So again, where this is coming from, this is again coming from a place of incomplete awakening. It feels very, very real, and I think that's why it's so prevalent these days, is because it feels like that's what's happening. And I can say that that's true again from my own experience. But a lot of people who are teaching this, they haven't fully awakened. They haven't completed that awakening journey. They stop there at that point where manifesting feels real, and they say, okay, well, this is the truth. This is how it is. And I don't blame them for not going further. It's a tough journey. I understand the desire to stay where you are. But it's not the ultimate truth of reality. So keep that in mind. When people are talking all about manifesting and law of attraction, understand that they're not like lying to you. They're not attempting to mislead you. It feels very real for them. But understand that it's not the full truth. It's not the final destination. If you speak to someone, again, who is fully enlightened, they're not talking about this stuff. They're not talking about manifesting. They're not talking about law of attraction, because it's one of those illusions that pops up along the journey, but then it also disappears if you go deeper. And it's not that people who have gone farther are better than anyone else. They can just see a bit more clearly, and they can just see that some of this stuff is an illusion and not the actual reality. So what can also happen when we're going on a healing journey, or even just if we've had a lot of bad relationships, it can feel like we are manifesting toxic relationships. It can feel like the only people that we are attracting to us are people who are abusive or people who are emotionally available. I actually hear this all the time from women that come to me. They say, I'm only attracting emotionally unavailable people. And I would say, no, that's not what's happening. What's happening is due to our own unhealed trauma, we are keeping those people around longer than we ideally would. So I say this all the time, like people who are abusive, people who are emotionally unavailable, they don't discriminate. If they find you attractive and appealing, they're going to go towards you. Yes, there are certain, like if we're talking about someone who is really psychopathic or really sociopathic, yeah, they're actually going to be looking for certain qualities that you have. But that's not the majority of people out there. The majority of people, we could say, who are narcissistic, they're largely unaware of what is going on within them. So they just go for whoever they think is attractive. Someone who has done healing work or who has started out from a healthy place, they have good boundaries. And when someone starts not treating them well, they're going to let them go. They don't keep them around too long. They don't justify the bad behavior. They don't excuse it. They don't minimize it like I'm sure you have done in the past. If you're here watching this video, I've done it too. And so they don't end up in these relationships. And so the experience feels very different for them. For a healthy person who's out there dating, they understand that there's people who are not going to make good partners, but they don't go to this place of feeling like, oh, like this is the only type of people that I attract. So again, to just bust this myth here, it's not that you are attracting these types of partners. It's frequently because the lack of boundaries that we have, the ability to excuse certain behaviors, that's what makes it feel like that's only what's out there, or those are the only types of people that are coming to us. But that's not actually true. It's just an inner perceptual experience. And when we do the healing work to behave differently, to set those boundaries, to make different choices, that's when our experience changes. And again, if you guys need help with this, I am always available to talk to you in my one-on-one coaching program. Send me a message if you're interested in some of the ways that I can help you one-on-one. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, hit the like button and hit the subscribe button, because I come out with new videos every week. If you're looking for daily support and inspiration, you can find me over on Instagram at Living Free Finding Love. And if you're interested in one-on-one support, go to my website at livingfreehealing.us.